you cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
At the moment, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's vlog 63, and my day started around 3:15 today. So now it's I think around 12. So I'm doing a run to actually clean my head, like always. If you watch my previous vlogs, then you know that I'm always around between 11 and 1. I always need to clean up my head a little bit just to recalibrate my brain, which I'm doing usually with calisthenics or running. Now I'm doing both, and probably I will end up with 6 kilometers or 7 kilometers. And yes, now I do very quickly just an intro in the video. I want to say something else. You know, in previous videos I talked about usage of drugs. The reason that I'm saying and telling you some stories is just to actually to tell you to stay away from it. Nothing good comes from it. And as I emphasized on the fact, I use boatloads. And again, I'm not proud of it, but there's a lot of things to learn from. Don't do it, stay away from it. Also, don't even try it, because one of the main things that bothered me a lot, and I'm gonna say it is, I enjoyed it a lot, but the thing is, you build so quickly, so fake rapport with other users, because you're very quickly syncing with other people, and that is for obvious reasons. And you know, people don't need to put in the effort to actually start syncing with other people. And this is again about relationships. I always, if you watch my vlogs, you understand I like to provide value, entertainment somehow. Every engagement that I have, or actually blessed with, you know, that I'm bringing the right energy to the table. The thing is with drugs is simply pretty much a lot of people are on the same level, especially when you use the same amount of drugs, of the similar drugs. I always like to mix a lot of stuff, but again, I'm not enticing anybody. So let's close the drug thing. One thing about the vlogging, the statistics getting very, very interesting. No, I don't have the 1 million followers yet. So if you didn't subscribe yet, you know, you can be one of those first 1 million subscribers. Help me out. And I'm just asking, you know, I'm asking politely, you know, humble and gentle and genuinely with a clear intention. It would motivate me. Yes, totally clear about this. I would perhaps reach you with some sort of thought, because I talk a lot about life, business experiences, strategies, and red flags about people to keep your circle clean. And my vlogs are mainly for people who want to do better in life. Let's say it like this. Let's keep it very simple to understand for the 12-year-old. My vlogs are for somebody who wants to do better in life, provide value every single day, and want to live a life of discipline and prosperity, and not maintenance. Maintenance is good, surviving is good, but those periods should be only for a short amount of time. I did a lot of surviving and never did maintenance, but always the opposites, surviving and or extremely thriving. And with extremely thriving, if you're not prepared mentally, you don't have the right guidance around you, especially when it's about people. Oh, wait a minute, my app is saying the amount of kilometers. Just a sec. Because I'm tracking everything. And by the way, if you want to start running, I will add, because I opened a Telegram group. For now, you can still enter it, so enter, and I will share a lot of things more in depth. Also, it's 18 plus. For why? Because over there I'm not holding back on anything. See, on YouTube there are policies, had no sexual content, let it be very clear. Also no requests or whatever, sharing or spamming. Please people, I'm using this Telegram group to reach a lot of people who actually want to do or start to do or thought about, and then actually need a little bit more guidance before they actually jump into something. And all the strategies that I'm sharing are done by me on the spot, tested out to the max. And when I talk about the max, I'm going to give you one simple example. When AI became available to the public, I jumped in for at least 6 months in a row, around 10-12 hours a day, and I wrote over 10,000 prompts. Just to give you a little bit of an insight about the things that I'm sharing, I still use the strategies that I'm sharing, and I only optimize and go more in depth to them every single day. So also behind the scenes, I will share way much more in the Telegram group, which I simply don't want to share on YouTube. Of course, everybody can download, screenshot it and share it. Who cares? Of course, there are different levels to the game. The things like conversation that I had yesterday with China to arrange import to one country in Europe, those conversations are for the higher level people who are willing to pay. And not only this, everything that I'm sharing is straight away executable. You don't need a long learning curve, you just need to put in the work. I'm just showing the way, the strategy, the working structure. I talk about this stuff, so there is no more excuse. How did I ever get into this? Well, until I have between my 11th until I was 30, always normal business. At 11 I started, cleaning bicycles. Until I was 30, I had multiple projects, multiple businesses, and I failed a lot. And at 30 I've lost everything. Then I came to Bulgaria to survive, and over here I figured out how to do everything online. Now it's 16 years later, I'm 46, I'm doing everything from the phone, and I am in peace with everything that happened in the past, so I can speak about everything that has happened. And I don't want to say to me, because there's a victim talk. I don't like victim talks. And also, this is also what I noticed. This is now already day number 63, and the more I start speaking up loud what my perspective is on life, the more I also sometimes get irritated about weak people. And with weak people I mean they constantly talk about the same problem without mentioning one time one single solution. And that's the problem. That's the only problem. I don't mind to listen to a problem. See, and I mentioned this also in previous vlogs, you get a problem, you sit in the dark, if necessary for 24 hours, you write down all possible solutions, then you start putting them, which one is the fastest executable. Then you start figuring out, okay, do I need other people for this? Once you get this whole circle of possible solutions, then you get a top 10, and I'm just saying a top 10 because if you watch my previous vlogs, you have to watch them. But no, you don't have to do anything. That sounds like authority things, and one thing I never was into authority things. That's why I also never had a really normal job. I worked for 2 weeks once in an pig factory. But wait a minute, I'm gonna finish first the problem solving. The top 10. When the top 10 is the bigger problems, you get a small problem, you have a top 5 of possible solution, you get to work, you test it, doesn't work, fail fast. Another thing, fail fast, people. Like with my vlogging, totally transparency. I'm fucking 46, I have to put in the energy every day, editing, uploading, distributing, cutting in reels, and it has to go faster. We started with 5 TikToks a day, 5 shorts, and now we're also getting into a total of 50 reels a day on Instagram. But the thing is, it's about the working structure, and I reduce this to such an amount of time that everybody can do what I'm doing, and I'm just sharing the exact working structure along the way. And probably I will do this only in the Telegram group, where you can get just a shareable Google Doc file where I share the tools that I use, and not only this, also the exact working structure, the tools that I use, yeah, I already said this, but also the scheduling, how I'm doing this for the lowest budget possible, pretty much for free. Don't underestimate. So there is no more excuses for people how to do this. when you go on YouTube and you try to figure out one working structure, trust me, you're not gonna find something that is really gonna work for you. I know what worked for me. I'm a simple man, and from a time we had to go make a phone call, like, you know, the round thing. I don't know if you know what it is. Just Google it if you're one of those young people, you know, that you're 25. I saw my demographics. The main category age is between 25 and 45. The people who will watch are mainly from the USA. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you didn't even have those phones over there. But in Holland, I'm from Holland, I lived for 30 years in Holland, we had to do and then you missed one number and you had to do it over again. You put the horn on the telephone and you do it again. But then the guy is not at home or a place of business. You have to go back again and again. See, and that's putting in the work to build relationships, because once the guy or the girl picks up the phone, then you have to get to work. Then it's not like texting, hi, no response, hello, how are you, and all that bullshit. No, bam, straight to the point. Okay, a little bit chitty chatty, you know, how are you doing, blah blah blah. By the way, I never ask how are you doing. I'm always asking what people are doing, and that opens also a whole flood of new possible speaking points. How are you doing? Everybody's doing good. Or listen to this, or you don't do good and you're gonna share it with people? I don't think so. Anyway, what was I? The working structure, what we talked about, a little bit about this and that. Oh yeah, one very weird occurrence I noticed, because I'm very into the strategy and structures and blah blah blah. The thing is, what I noticed, every first single clip, not every, but there are many days that my first clip ends at 11 and 59 seconds, 11 minutes and 59 seconds. And I hope that this clip is not going to do it, so that's why I speak a little bit faster. So I'm not, because you know, I don't know, because I don't do it on purpose, but exact 11 minutes and 59 seconds. Many times it happens. It's not every clip, but many are. And also just in between clips are sometimes 11 minutes and 59 seconds. Totally irrelevant? Maybe for you it is. But the thing is, maybe there's people who are a little bit more into details, and they would say, yeah, Don, that sounds you're very into details. Can we do a little bit of talk about this and this? Yes, you can. You can always reach me on Telegram, WhatsApp. Yeah, email, not really. Some people also send me, yeah, I sent you an email. Yeah, now yeah, to be very honest, I have to clean up the email box, but also when it's about email, I have only one back and forward response with one single person that's on via email, because he is stuck under the control of the banking system, and because I have talks about this. Anyway, I'm gonna finish my run and the calisthenics thing, and then we call it a day when it's about the calisthenics, and we go to the second part of my day. And now we are in West Park or Zapenden Park, or West Park, Zapenden Park in Sofia, Bulgaria. You want to see it a little bit? Okay, take it easy. And I don't know if I showed you this part before. You know what? Let's go off-road. Because you know why? Because we can. Oh, it's actually nice. This run is not the most intense one, as you probably noticed now. But I'm going to cut the run for now, so I did a 5 kilometer. And then I'm going to the calisthenics spot to finish off. Maybe I'll do a little bit a jogging thing. Yeah, I want to do a jogging thing, so I close for this. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, join my Telegram group, and don't expect, by the way, every single minute yet content, because I'm very busy with firing up now the Instagram reels, which require a lot of time. I need to arrange some orders. Oh yeah, in the Telegram also I'm sharing things about e-commerce. I will start sharing also this with a little bit of twist, which doesn't cost you upfront money, which doesn't cost you blah blah blah, and also don't deal with idiotic strategies that you don't even yeah, anyway, all the basic strategies that the people use for the e-commerce. Yes, there are people successful with it, but there's a reason for that they simply don't talk about, because they want to sell you the course and that's it. And there's another thing about the courses. I did make a statement before this about this. You know, if people really make those millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, give away those courses and you would have way much more loyalty from your people, which of your people, you know, we're not talking about owning people. But the thing is, I'm giving away everything for free, so you can get started, make some money, and then when you think you start getting serious, you get a little bit in shape, you know, hit me up. You know, I don't want to work with people who just getting started. I'm willing to help you out, not one-on-one, by the way. I stopped doing this because people who start out, they have to prove something. So let's say you would get into blogging, you would say, Dylan, I got 50 videos for you to offer, 50 articles for you to check out because I wrote them. Then I will throw them in the notebook LM, and then it will check it out. But the thing is, you know, you need to build leverage in order to get my serious attention. And is this because that I'm an arrogant piece of shit? No, not at all. I really want to help everybody to get only work from the phone, which gives you the freedom that I have, and that's what I really want. That's one of the intentions. I also want to get you in shape. I want you to be happy. I want to make you that your spouse is happy. You make your parents proud, and yeah, that's what I want for you. So, and that you also don't fuck up like I did multiple times. And also let's give myself a little bit of shoulder knock. I had also great successes, but now you know I'm in the upscaling phase, because at 41 I lost again everything. That is a great story later. Now everything gets very stable again. I'm now in the upscaling phase, and then I'm pretty much, I'm not going to use the word because that sounds weird, but you know, once everything is upscaled, and that includes a lot of automation. For the automation I always use the make.com thing. I mentioned this before, and I got tons of scenarios that I'm willing to share with you guys. Everything will be dropped for free, so you have to ask about it. If you don't ask, you don't get it. And because if I don't get the request, and if you ask for something, look for the right category in Telegram. Don't drop willy-nilly things. Don't get impatient, because people like me, we're busy, but we're always reachable for people who have proven to put in the work. I need to pee, and you know what? I just keep on talking because you're not gonna see my wiener. Wait a minute. Anyway, so be polite, work hard, and oh shit, I have to turn off the running thing. You know what? I walk fast, you know, fuck it. And put in the work, people, and then you can live around like me. You know, I'm in Bulgaria now, but I don't have to be here. Think about this. Let's assume that you got a job. Let's assume that you go to school. What's gonna happen after that? You go to school, you get a job, and then you get angry for the rest of your life? I don't think so. Yeah, I think so, but because, you know, you're getting so shaped up to do what somebody else tells you. You don't want to think, you know, you want to use your brain, you don't want to live a life of freedom. And yes, it requires some sort of balls, because yeah, no, it's also not for everybody, that's for sure. But if you like to have freedom, you got a little bit bigger balls than the average person who does not want to depend on let's call him the master, who pays you at the end of the month. Then you slave away for the next month. And I want to close this clip with one single thought. Let's assume you make 5,000 euros a month. Think about this. Is that what your life worth? You know, 5,000 euros a month. Calculate by yourself how much that's per day. That's your life worth. And yes, you also need money for your holidays, because you need to escape reality, because you're totally fucking not happy what you're doing. Otherwise you don't have to go on holidays. On holidays, let me also give you a little bit of thought about this. If you put in the work, really proven to put in the work, I'm definitely gonna help you out. The thing is, the moment that you make 10 grand plus a month, you will say, "Dylan, how can I make more?" The thing is, this is the thing about holidays, I just live where I want to live. That's another thing. I don't like to go on holidays, a lot of hassle, and in the end you really like it over there, you have to go back home. So, statements made very fast. No fluff, no fillers, like most courses. Don't buy those courses. And if you do, then let me know how you're doing with those courses. Yeah, so and I bought courses in the past, I'm very honest about it. Otherwise, you know, I cannot say that they're not. There are a lot of courses that are so filled up with fluff, and yeah, a lot of fluff. I went through a lot of courses, but so much fluff, it's not worth the money. Serious. And not only worth the money, also not worth your time, because you need a long time to consume the stuff. Stop it. And most people earn then from affiliate links. So for example, when you talk about e-commerce, they share an affiliate link for the e-commerce stuff, for the Shopify thing. That is all great, but there are elements that they simply don't mention, because I don't want to say that they were lucky, but they found the right moment, the right time, the right this and this, and they don't share a lot of stuff because perhaps they don't even understand the psychology behind it, how they actually doing it. And the ones that really understand, they're not selling the course for $97, and be really honest about it. And if they really make those millions, you know, then you can give it away. Also care a little bit about other people. That's how I approach people, that's how I approach life, and I keep my circle very clean with all the experiences I had in the past. And I'm not saying that they bad, because that would be something like, oh, I'm not over it. No, I'm just sharing it with you guys so you don't make the same mistake as me, especially when you start getting into, you know, in a better shape. You get more energy, and not only more energy, perhaps a little bit more freedom. You know, that is nice. So you start thinking different, and you will get rid of, anyway, a lot of loser friends. That is simply part of the deal. That is inevitable. When you get more freedom, you get rid of losers, and or they will try to drag you down where they are. And it's the same with people who are in better positions. They try to pull you up. Like I always say, losers always pull you down, and at least they try. And the winners, they try to pull you up so you can actually join them. Next to that, what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's close this clip, and I hope it not stops again around the 11 minutes 59, because that freaks me out. Actually, yesterday's clip was also 11:59 again. The first clip. Anyway, there were actually two clips of 11:59. But okay, shut up. Let's go. We got a saying, and I don't know if it's in English also exists, and it says, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying it the 100% correct way, because I almost don't speak Dutch anymore, not that I forget. And so it says it says something like, where the heart is full of is the mouth running over with, something like this. But it's true, and this is now really what I'm trying of many times hammering on, right? Really be yourself and don't pretend, because sooner or later you dropping through this. Oh yeah, that's another Dutch thing. Yeah, you fall door de mand, but it means you crack to the basket. I don't know if that even makes sense in English, but you know, you can fake it, but I don't see it. And then the thing is, I'm saying this little thing because a few days ago, I'm thinking about my words because I don't want to offend anybody, but since maybe the last 2 meetings, a lot of negativity talk, and you know, and I'm constantly also thinking about stuff, so I also understand sometimes at one point you start feeling a little bit more comfortable, you start speaking a little bit more. But when the majority of the things are very overwhelming negative, it made me feel uncomfortable. And the thing is, I got nothing against the person, but the thing is, at one point I felt a little bit uncomfortable because even the person who was next to him, he saw that I felt, yeah, Jesus, man, you can talk about it, that everything is really negative, and he even talked about the garbage can next to me, how that is ugly. Well, I think by myself it's good that there's a garbage can, because otherwise it would. But anyway, even the person next to him, he was drilling his eyes. See, I got nothing against the guy, but this is the thing in life, people. If you just say things, that are not authentic, or you pretend. And a very nice example, I could see the balance between those two. I also was wondering, why were those people hanging around with each other, And this is the thing. Yeah, actually, they both have also normal jobs. And this is, again, I got nothing against jobs, but you can see the point of reality where they actually live at. So in the middle, let's say there's reality, and around, and the farther you away, the more comfortable you are, and the more you live in a lie. Because those two people, they should not hang around with each other. If one of my bonds would walk next to me and he was twirling his eyes, but I also would never put him in that kind of position, because I'm always very, very aware of, well, especially when people were with me, I'm dying on the spot, if necessary. And of course, in the past, that brought me into a lot of problems. But I'm more relaxed, and I'm choosing my people around me a little bit more careful. But anyway, those people really don't live an authentic life. And it's actually a sad thing to say. I do believe this, but you can see it. Negative talk. People around, you make them feel uncomfortable. But not only that, I never saw the other guy before, but I could see the balance between those two. Maybe those people, they know each other for a long time. Somehow they look a little bit bold, a little bit fluffy, in life. Nothing much to worry about, nothing that said, now, hey, bulk up, man, hurry up. But yeah, then also the other guy starts speaking. He worked all kind of very, simple jobs, and very, a little bit hunched over, little bit of dry hair. Everything is a little bit fluffy, everything is just willy vanilly, and come on, people, life is short. Try to work on your relationship, try to work on yourself in the first place, and then the people around you. And of course, when you work on yourself, you're going to lose a bunch of people, because these people, if one of them would get out of the normality, they wouldn't hang around with each other. They actually not even hanging around with each other now. They're just, I don't know, wasting time. Anyway, a little bit of rant, but maybe also something to think about. Be aware of the people around you and make them feel good. And take care of yourself. We're not all walk around like Brad Pitt or something, but at least do something with the stuff that God gave us. Maybe not his best work, but also not with me. But I'm doing my best. Anyway, ciao for now. And this is the thing about life, right? In the end, everybody tries to find their way, find their purpose, try to find their way in life, how to make things work. I think it's a beautiful thing, but sometimes and in my case, because I care about a lot of things and I notice a lot of stuff. But also in the end, everybody tries to find their way. Everybody tries to find their way in life. And that's actually with this thought I want to end today's vlog. I think it's number 63. Everybody tries to find their way, and it could be sped up. Some people are ignorant, some people are willing to put in the work, some people cannot see it anymore. I do understand a lot of stuff, and because I also understand when I say something, or many times, it's only to keep the people, because my vlogs are for the people pretty much who want to prosper in life. And to prosper in life, I had to go through a lot of bullshit to get to this point. And and I want to save people from, and I understand people want to discover by themselves, and at the point when people hit rock bottom or whatever, that's the point when they want to change, when they open their eyes. One of the movies that I ever watched is The Blue Planet. We're all in the end humans. We're all in the end like those animals. When you watch The Blue Planet, very impressive. It always did two things with me. I had two kind of feelings. It made me feel sad, but also, what nature does, it separates the strong from the weak. But humans, humans are so complex. And what I also many times think, people look outside, although on the bottom of the sea, they go into to heaven, to space, but in the end, between the years, there's a lot of things to discover. And each human being has all kind of things going on in their own mind, and has all kind of impulses. Can you imagine? There's something that I'm so fascinated by, because every single human being, there's a lot of people over there on the bus stop. Everybody has things going on. They think about what are they gonna eat. Some people are surviving. Some people, and it, I always do care so much about my surroundings that I also understand people not aware of this, but I'm really looking at people, and I genuinely want to reach as many as possible by sharing my own mistakes, but also my thoughts. And maybe some of you guys who are watching this, start caring a little bit more about the people around you. And I also do believe in this: the more positive energy you give, and it's not about that you get things back, but I do believe that you live a more fulfilled life. I really believe in this. And like I said also in previous vlogs, I'm now 46. I wasn't always in this state of mind, and I also did not have the resources, I also did not have the knowledge, and I also definitely didn't have the peace between the ears that I do have now. And I'm very, very, very absorbing constantly everything. If you also watched my previous vlog, I'm constantly looking for things. And I don't know, I want to close this vlog today like this. I think it's vlog number 63. If you didn't subscribe, help me out. Telegram group is open. I'm gonna share so much more in-depth stuff to help you guys out to live a life from the phone. I started selling bicycle service, cleaning service, door to door when I was 11. Now I'm 46. I'm doing everything from the phone, and the level of freedom what comes with this, I could sit over here and look like, with all the respect and to the people who don't have a home, but I could look like a homeless person, but do major things. Everything is about communication, and when it's about communication, you have to be genuinely interested in people, not like what you want. That's actually a nice topic to think about. And also when it's about dating, I always tell people what I bring to the table, and that's it. What I bring to the table. I never talk about this is what I want, that's what I want, because that's also something, right? When you at one point start sinking, you know, that's what it is, right? When you have people, you can put some very dirty labels on it, but when you really start sinking on a mental level with another person, that is a beautiful point I think you can work to. And then it's about maintenance, longevity, you know, and that's only between two people. There are billions of people on the planet, and like I said, everything what happens between the years, every soul that is walking around, you know, the brain is constantly maybe thinking about this, they have to buy this, they have to buy that, and you know, everybody tries to figure out their own way, their own path. Something to think about. Makes me sad, and also very excited about everything, because you never know. Because my life is, you know, very. I meet so many people every single day. Today, and maybe the past 5 days, I didn't meet so many new people because I'm very busy with upscaling everything and AI thing. And it's possible for a lot of people, you know, to do things from the phone. And anyways, people are spending the time on the phone. See, so I'm not digging in, hey, that I take people out of the, let's say, a perfume store, and that they have to work in the coal mines to make life better. You know, I'm just trying to share strategies that can be actually executed from just replacing a little amount of time on that device that people use. And that is my purpose with these vlogs. And I'm not some kind of saint. I'm just, like I said also in the beginning of this vlog, I went through a lot of bullshit. I did, and I caused a lot of bullshit, but I also solved a lot of bullshit. But I never lost hope, and I always had this urge to do something, but I never found my way until I was, I think, 42. But anyway, we're gonna close the vlog for the day. I'm now in Lulen, and I'm gonna go to the villa, eat a little bit, and that's it for today. And then drop a lot of content out, and join the Telegram group. I'm gonna share so much stuff. And and then I'm also gonna stop talking. A lot of people sell those courses with the strategies. That's all fun, but you need to provide people with working structures so they know 1, 2, 3, 4, and then repeat the process. 1, 2, 3, 4, and every little tiny step. So 1 ABC, and then you optimize those steps in between, and that needs to be adapted to every person individually. That's what I really think. There's not one size fits all. And that's why I also start talking about people are so complex, you know, people have things going on in their life. Anyway, stop talking, Della. This is it for today. I'm gonna do multiple video calls and other things, and peace. That's what I want for a lot of people. And it's not about peace in places of war, because I don't have this kind of knowledge, but I want to create, before I go off this planet, people have freedom and peace and fulfillment, a feeling of fulfillment, that you matter. You know, that's also, I think that's very important, that you have the feeling, or also that you have the mental capacity to understand people a little bit more. For example, the previous clip where I talked about that people not syncing with each other. You don't put a lot of attention to other people. You focus on the negative. Not you in general, you watching, but you know, a lot of people focus on the negative. And I'm gonna start tomorrow with a gratitude walk again. And if you didn't see one of my gratitude walks, the way I do it, you know, I'm grateful for a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things like that normal people do have. I never had those things, and I also will never have. And the people who have some stability somewhat, somehow, from a young age, you know, listen and just build on this, you know. Most people don't build on sand, the sand that you drown in. And if you come from a stable background and don't look at your surroundings, every surrounding can be as bad as possible as you think it is, but I don't believe that everything is bad at all, as long as you're gonna be grateful what you got, actually, and speak about it. And a lot of people would also say, yeah, I am grateful, but do you express it? You know, you can be the greatest surgeon on the planet, but if nobody knows about it, you understand where this goes, right? Anyway, that's it. Ciao for now.